Hello, hello, crafty friends. Hello, everybody. Hi, Mary R. Hi, Annette and Betty and Brenda and Andrea and Connie. Good to see everybody today. I am delighted to see you all out there. Annette, do not give up. You get back into your crafting. It will all come back just as easy as anything. You just needs a little practice. It'll be good. It'll be good. All right. Good to see everybody. We are going to make beautiful projects together today. Let's take a look at what we're going to make. Let's go ahead and go on close up camera, please. Hi, Sharma. Good to see you. Here's one of our cards today. Beautiful polar bears. Here's another of our. Whoa, that one tipped over. That's okay. Guess we'll stack them as we go. Here's another of our beautiful polar bears. Oh, I just love these cards. I just love them. Here's our baby polar bear and mama. Remember that the texturizing that's done on this is done with that textures dye, the textures snowflake. It will not be texturized in your kit. This is an illustration of what it looks like when we texturize. Here is another of our polar bears. Boy, I love these. You probably get tired of hearing that, but I don't get tired of saying it because they're just absolutely the most gorgeous kit. Wowzer. And there we go. All right. Hey, I'm reading that you guys like making the figurines by Carlson. Maureen Carlson. I believe that she's the one who did the Faces polymer clay book for Hot Off the Press. In case you're interested, tell me, because Mary R. and Annette and folks, I actually have a batch of the molds, the face molds, hand molds for Santa Claus and for a variety of the clay faces by Maureen Carlson that I found in the garage. Hi, Pauline. Good to see you. That I found in the garage that I was going to put up on eBay as a lot. If you guys are interested, I can try putting them up on the store so you can see what I have. But I just thought I'd mention that since I saw that you were talking about Maureen Carlson. I actually have quite a number of her face molds and boot molds and feet molds. I don't know if I still have hand molds. Okay, all right. Uh, I will make a point. Hi, Ruth. Good to see you. I will make a point of putting those up on the store so that you can see them before I dispose of them otherwise, because they're older, retired, just like some of the other stuff I've put up. Some of these things have been around since the earth was cooling. They're brand new. The packaging in some cases has fallen apart, but the molds themselves are brand new and beautiful. So, yes, okay. All right, good deal. So there's our cards we're making today. Let's take a look at our kit. I found so many treasures, guys. I'm telling you, it may take me a while to find them, but I will remember that you guys want to see them when I come back across that box. I got rid of most of the boxes, but this was kind of my rough sort, and so I still have a stack of probably, I don't know, honey, 30 boxes in the garage that I will need to go through and decide what goes where. And what gets listed. And you didn't miss out on the angels. I haven't listed them yet, Annette. I got busy and didn't do it yet. So you haven't missed out on the angels. They're coming. Okay, here I have the first. This is the topper sheet. This set is called Bear Hugs. It's part of a sparkling season. I'm so glad you remembered today and you're here, Ruth. It's nice to have you with us. Here's the cardstock. Once again, just like some of the others I've commented on, look at the background in this cardstock. Every inch of this is usable. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. And look at this one. Talk about your foiled cardstock pieces. Now here's some that's got some Alma Lynn. I don't know Alma Lynn. What did Alma Lynn do? Is she a polymer clay artist too, Mary? Maybe I have something in my polymer clay books. I'm not sure. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. You also get a sheet of this beautiful bubblegum suede paper. Ah, it's gorgeous. In some cases, we didn't have enough of the adorable scoreable to make the kits without running ourselves completely out of supplies. So where I used more, we substituted velveteen paper. I figured you wouldn't mind. Here's two more pieces of adorable scoreable that we have in our kits. Of course, we have our, look at this. Look at these background sheets that Brittany gave us. I'm going to have to figure out what some things are for. Oh, this is in substitution for some of our adorable scoreable also. Wowzer. Hi, Elsie. Good to see you, friend. Okay, Betty, I'm not sure I said hi. If I didn't, hi, Betty. Okay. We also have our card blanks. We're going to make 6 cards today. We have, and our envelopes, of course. I'm going to set my envelopes off to the side. And we're going to make 2 European, or 2 DLs, which is 4x8. We're going to make 2 European A6 and 2 6x6. I guess that adds up to the right number, doesn't it? And then we have 3 sheets of adorable score. Excuse me. Let me try this again. My brain is just not connecting with my mouth. European A6 Rainbow Mary. You have some beautiful, beautiful satin ribbon in that gorgeous purple. And we have a pretty piece of soft pink organza. Then you have your little goodie packet that Brittany made for you. And she cut both the Let It Snow and the colored might have to do a little weeding on this one. The colored snowflakes for you, which was really nice. I told you weren't getting those. Then Brittany came in and said, no, they're going to get those. And then she also cut some additional pieces for you. Go, Brittany, because she's the sweetest. And clearly she cut this with die release paper. That's the little things I was seeing there. So we have our goodie bag. I also have out here, I cut extra pieces on my own of extra snowflakes and stuff. So we will add those as necessary. Hello, Kim R. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Okay. let's go ahead and get started here. First thing I'm going to do is what I've done with the other cards. You guys have said this was really helpful, so I'm going to keep doing this in cases where we're making a lot of cards about the when we're making a lot of cards out of the same cardstock. I'm going to keep doing this and showing you the layout where I took things from. So this one clearly comes from here. This one comes from here. And you see this strip here? This one is coming from that strip in the middle. Okay. So I'm going to, that one is using that little strip. This one is going to come from here. This one comes from here. And this one, excuse me, is using, did I use insert paper again? I might have. We'll figure this one out. This one, I might have used insert paper, and we'll use one of our pieces out of our kit to complete this. It really doesn't matter what this little bit of background paper is because we are covering most of it up anyway. So, okay. All right, so there's our layout for our cards. We're making 2 plus this one out of this piece, okay? And we're making 2 plus this one out of this piece. We're adding a generous amount of our adorable scoreable in. Everything. Thank you very much, Kim R. Okay. Oh, you're making Christmas cards for the hospice center that's taking care of your dad. That's awesome, Sharma. I love that. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I think I will start with this one. And you know me, I like to start with an easy one because it kind of gets me back into the swing of things. I have new show and tell for you today. I made our next Saturday class last night, just-in-time card making. And I have it to show you today. So for this card, I'm going to need this piece of cardstock. I am going to need this bubblegum suede paper. I am going to need my DL card, my 4x8. I'm also going to want to grab, I don't need any toppers for this one. I am going to want my Let It Snow out of my embellishment pack, as well as a silver or rainbow snowflake, which I happen to have right there. Tuck these back in their package so I don't manage to have them on the floor, which is kind of par for the course with me. And let's get going. We're going to fold our DL card. We are going to these sets are really pretty. Really, really pretty. Okay. We're going to put some tape down on our card face. Then we're going to cover it with that absolutely gorgeous bubblegum velveteen paper. Sometimes this is called suede paper or velvet paper. No matter what you call it, the stuff's gorgeous. What it is not is it's not velour. This is velvet paper The difference between this and velour is the coarseness of it. Velour tends to be much more, a much rougher kind of a texture and not as plush. This is the good stuff. Graphic 45 paper or supplies. I can get graphic 45 paper and supplies. In fact, one of these days, I have purchased up some graphic 45 papers to do a dog class. No, you do not have to use wet glue with velveteen. Actually, let me rephrase. I'm putting this down on my card with tape, but I do recommend putting using glue for on the embellishments we put on top of the velveteen paper, because it does have while the texture doesn't shed, like I said, it's the good stuff. But while it doesn't shed, it does cause things not to stick down as thoroughly. So I usually recommend when you use foam squares and stuff on top of velvet paper that you actually put a dot of wet glue. So yes, I am going to recommend you have some wet glue handy for these, Kim. Okay, I put my velvet paper on my card. Now I'm just going to trim around my card. I'm still using those scissors because I told the girls I would give these a really good test. So far, I generally like them. One of the things I'm curious about, I have to use them for a while in order to see, is how long they'll stay sharp. They do have that serrated edge on them, so I don't know about resharpening these. It's just like a micro serration on there, but I don't know if that would impact my ability to sharpen them. So I'm going to use them till I make them dull. Then I'm going to try and sharpen them, and I can tell you at that point whether or not I would recommend them. I do have them available. I know it's a popular brand. These are from Tim Holtz. I did learn something about them today I didn't know before when I was cleaning up my table. These are magnetic. So there's my pins I have on my table for my glue bottles, which I still haven't taken time to replace the glue in. My glue bottles are wonderful. My little needle tip glue bottles, I absolutely adore them. One of the things I tell you about these is you need to use not super thin glue because you don't want it running out. So you probably don't want Elmer's, and you don't want tacky because tacky's too thick. Well, I've had my glue in these bottles for a while, and I have, where most of you have one or two of these, I have like 7 or 8 of them wandering around my table, and it's been very, very hot in the shop. I carried some of them back and forth to the beach in 100-degree temperature, and I just think my glue's gotten too thick in there. So until I go through and change these out and put better glue in them, I'm going to keep fighting with these. It's not the glue bottle, it's the fact that my glue has thickened up in them. So don't think that means that our little glue bottles are awful. Our glue bottles are perfect. It's just that I now have caused the material inside to get too thick, and that's why I'm fighting with them. So let me just say that up front, because I don't want the glue bottles to take the brunt of my hauling them around and filling up too many of them and not using it fast enough. So I've got my velveteen paper on. I notice I have one kind of rough edge here. I'm going to just shave that down just a little bit with my paper trimmer. Hello, Glenn. It's good to have you with us. Roberta, good to see you. Yes, the dog class I want to do is going to be on graphic 45. Mary R. I have purchased some graphic 45 papers I'm excited to do a dog class with. So there we go. I also retrieved a batch of cat papers from the store, from the garage, and we're going to do a cat class too, lest our cat lovers be left out. We can't have that. So I now have my card covered with my pink. Oh, I can get graphic 45, and I need a 40,000 mile glue change. I want to measure my card before I cut my cardstock. It's right at 4 inches. Right on 4 inches. So I'm going to cut my cardstock to 3 3/4. In fact, I'm going to go a little less than that. I'm going to do 3 5/8. No, I'm not. I'm not going to cut 3 5/8 off this side because I would be running into my little bear. I'm going to give my little bear a little room in the front. So I'm going to cut this to 4. I want to show you what I mean. If I had cut this too narrow right off, I'd cut into my little bear. I definitely don't want to do that. So what I did is cut this to 4 inches, and now I'll cut my extra off the back here behind Mama. So even when you know what your measurements are going to be, you got to be careful about how that plays out with your image, right? So I'm going to cut this to 3 5/8 now. But I definitely didn't want to hurt my mama bear or my baby bear. I wanted that a little narrower this time because I've got this absolutely gorgeous velvet paper behind it, and I want you to be able to touch enough of that to realize that that's really special. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to, my card, I believe it is 8 1/4. It was, at least before I trimmed a little off. It's still 8 1/4. 8 1/4. So I'm going to make this piece here just slightly under 8 inches. I think I'll do 7 7/8, just so that my borders match what I did on the sides. And let's see how that lays out. That is perfection right there. That looks good. Okay, so Kim was asking, do I want wet glue on these? I think I'm actually gonna use both. I'm gonna put some tape down, and I'm gonna use a little bead of glue also. And between the two, I'm sure to get a really good coverage on these. Mary, pass the pizza, please. I love you guys. Okay, I'm going to put a little bead of glue on my tape now, just because I know that it won't hurt to have it there, and it will help the adherence a little bit. So when in doubt, use both. I'm going to put this in here. Hold that just for a second since I have that glue on there. Beautifully covered card. Okay. Okay. All this talk of snacks, boy, I'm glad I ate before I came today. Okay, I'm gonna get my blotter out, also known as my paper towel. I'm gonna put some handy dandy glue. Make sure all of my little pokies are out. They are. This Let It Snow and this Snowflake both come from this very highly recommended die set. It's called Splendid Snowflakes. It came out with the with this a sparkling season set. If you don't have these and you don't have a multitude of snowflakes in your die collection already, you owe it to yourself to get this one. This is beautiful. These snowflakes are layerable. They're detailed. They're absolutely beautiful. I love the little Let It Snow. So consider those. If you don't already have, if you're not overrun with snowflake dies already, and I know some of you are, but if you're not overrun with snowflake dies, think about this set. This is a good one. Every die is very usable. It might seem like a strange statement, but did you ever notice that in a die set, normally you're lucky if 3/4 of the dies in a die set are things you like? You know, there always seems to be one or two that are less favorite. And this is one where every single one of the dies is just beautiful. Okay. Oh. Rob Clark and Roberta Clark. Yeah, she'll fool you, Glenn. You got to be watching that. We do have a couple more guys in our crafty group that, in fact, I just saw one of them back today. What did I say his name is in North Carolina? I know he watches. He doesn't tune into our live streams though. What's his name? Darn it. He actually teaches. He watches our videos and then he teaches classes in a little studio in his house. So, and I know he watches. Oh, darn it. I just saw where he ordered today. Darn it. I was going to give him a shout out. As soon as I stop thinking about it, maybe I'll come up with it. Anyway, there's several other guys out there watching. They just don't all sign into the live stream. So I'm glad you will. I think that's wonderful. Wayne. Yes, Wayne from North Carolina. Thank you, honey. I appreciate it. He looked him up for me. Wayne's been a crafter with us for a long time, and we love working with Wayne. So there you go, Wayne from North Carolina. Thank you. Okay, our card is done, with the exception of our stickle. Since this is our first one, let's go ahead and stickle this one together. Then we may not stickle all 6 of them because of time, but let's stickle this one together. I'm going to begin by running a little bead of stickles right along the top of my mountain ridge here, because that looks beautiful when we do that. I'm even going to go up under my snowflake a little bit and give that little peek an acknowledgement. Sorry if I lifted this up to where you can't see it. I couldn't see it laying down to get the detail I wanted. Okay, now I'm going to come in here right at the base of the mountains, and I have this area that's kind of bluer. I'm going to hit a little bit right there. I've got these little tiny trees along the edge, and I'm just going to kind of do a little sideways motion. Can you come in a little bit while I'm doing this, hon? Just going to give them a little sideways motion on these on the side, just to get some stickles on there. These little ones in the back, they don't have a lot of definition because they're far back. So my stickle's coming out a little better. There we go. So I'm just going to cover those a little bit. These little trees back here, just give them a little bit.
Mary's asking, what town do you remember?
I don't know, you could look it up if you wanted. Thank you, Kim R, for sharing the class. Okay, now when we get to these trees that are bigger, Franklin is the answer to your question. Where Wayne is. Now I'm actually going to try and follow my branches a little bit in the trees. And I'm going to hit some of those areas that are really heavily snowed in the trees. I'm going to give those a little bit extra where it's extra white there in the trees, because that'll look pretty. Now I'm going to come over here, and I've got lots of detail in this big tree. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to try and follow the detail a little bit in this big one. I'm not going to take all day at it. I'm going to just come in and kind of follow the branches though, because you can see the branches on this one. So I'm going to follow these branches out to the end. Okay. I keep shaking my hands a little bit. It's not that my glue bottle is running low yet. It's that my hands are really crampy after working in the garage and lifting a lot of stuff and, kind of pinch gripping too many things at a time, pulling stuff out of boxes and things. It's going to take a while for my hands to forgive me for what I put them through. And so, squeezing on this glue bottle, I have to kind of stop and shake my hand out a little bit. As we abuse them, then they get cranky, and I like all that. Hi, Catherine. Welcome, friend. I'm putting a little bit more on my hillside up there because it looked like it was really, really light. I'm going to put now a little bit around Mama Bear's feet. I kind of highlight around her feet a little bit. Not going to do the whole shadow, just kind of around her feet and Baby Bear's feet a little bit. And then there's a couple little slopes here and there. I'm just going to kind of acknowledge those slopes a little bit. And out here, it kind of looks like almost a pondy area. So I might give that just a little bit of just kind of a light squiggle back and forth. And this is what my glittering is going to look like. It'll be even prettier when it's dry, but you can see what we're getting there, and it's gorgeous. Okay, card one done. And you can see this one had a different snowflake on it. They're both pretty. And this is what the stickles looks like when it's dry. Isn't it beautiful? It kind of has a little more dimension when it's wet, but it will dry flat and gorgeous. So let's set that aside far enough away I can't get into it. And let's take a look at what we're going to do next. Next, I think we'll do this 6x6. We have this beautiful piece of cardstock left. I'm going to place my card right here, guys. I wanted to get as much of this beautiful scenery as I could. Not that I don't love the blue down below, I do, but you know, there's only so much room on my cardstock. So I came to right there is where I placed my card. I kind of cut off the solid pink. I lost just the tiniest amount of that tree, but that was a pretty good placement for that. And that will leave us actually this nice piece up here for our third card. So that'll work out well. Okay, so let's get going here. Let's get a work up for this one. We're going to need one of our toppers. Hi, Thelma. Welcome. Already signed on. Said she watched but never chats. Oh, well, good. Hi, Muriel. Oh, you did? Ooh. Wow. You know, I love to watch an electrical storm. I really, really do. I wouldn't want to have one here right now because it's just way too dry in Oregon for electrical storms. But I do love to watch an electrical storm. So I got this topper out. I got my wintertime wishes out. We're using this piece of cardstock. And then the only other thing we're going to need is one of our 6x6 cards. So let's grab that. The tag is Wintertime Wishes, Betty Easel. Everybody keeping up okay? Give me a 1 or a 2. Be sure, more importantly, give me a 2 if you're not keeping up okay, because I can always stop and chat. I never run out of things to chat about. You won't believe this, but I was actually a really shy kid. I know you don't believe it, but it's true. I was. It's a lot like my Brittany. Okay, let's put some tape on here. Now, I made mine open from the bottom. You can make yours however you like. You can make it this way if you want to. Of course, you're going to be switching everything. But if you want a more traditional opener, feel free. I think I'm going to make mine open from the top again. I like having a variety. Huh? Well, opening is on the bottom. The fold is at the top. Okay, Bryce says that it opens from the bottom, not from the top. I don't want to confuse anybody. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I think, is go ahead and I'm going to mess myself up in any way. I'm looking at my other cards to make sure I'm not going to mess myself up. I don't think I am. I'm going to go ahead just to make it easier to align, and I'm going to trim this blue strip off the bottom just to make it easier to line up my card. And I'm going to trim it. If you've got your card there, I'm trimming between the pink and the white line. You have a dark green line, then you have a pink line, then you have a white line. I'm going right between the pink and the white. You know, you have a fine, fine paper trimmer when you can get that. That's a good paper trimmer. It has been used and used and used, and I still haven't had to replace my blade, which is amazing. one time when I was little, I've always been fascinated by lightning, always. And one time when I was little, my friend Gary was visiting, and I mean little, we were, I don't know, maybe 10 and 11. He was a year older than me. And a lightning storm started and we disappeared. Mom went looking for us. And we were up on the roof. We'd gone up into the upper story of my parents' house, which was an unfinished. It had a plank floor and stuff, but it was unfinished attic. We went out through the window and we were on the roof of the carport under the TV antenna watching a lightning storm. My mom, bless her heart, quietly came upstairs, found us, and said, "I think you kids should come in now." I think I would have had a heart attack if it was one of my kids. But she was very remarkably controlled about the whole thing. It's really a wonder I grew to adulthood. Oh, I've told you about, riding my horse and standing on the horse's back and falling off, and riding my bicycle around the house and then just getting mad because I crashed into a tree. My cat crashed into a tree, and I was telling my dad how mad I was. And he said, "You are so lucky you crashed into the tree." I said, "Why?" And he said, "Come here and look." Well, behind the tree was a 20-foot drop off with pieces of concrete foundation that he had put in to support the bank because we lived on a hill. If I had not hit the tree, I would have gone right through and fallen onto these huge pieces of jagged concrete. Just a wonder I lived to adulthood, really. I could climb any tree faster than any of the boys in the neighborhood. I was a crazy kid, though. Oh my gosh. You don't think about the ramifications of things when you're 10. You're invincible. Okay, here's our cardstock. Beautiful on its own, but now we're going to put a topper on it. That's gorgeous, actually. Really, really pretty. Okay, we're just going to do that dimensional card like we often do. We're going to take this topper apart in 3 pieces. This, by the way, would be an absolutely spectacular shaker card if you decided you wanted to do that. Good point, Kim. It was not a good thought. As an adult, I recognize that was really not the place to be. But as a kid, it was a main screen view to what was happening in the sky. It was wonderful. We're sitting right under the TV antenna. That's the bad part. Oh gosh. Yeah, Betsy wouldn't like that at all, I'm sure. Thunder rolling and lightning cracking. Yeah, I can see where she wouldn't like that. We used to get a lot of heat lightning when I lived in Spokane, and I had a west-facing apartment. And in the summertime, it didn't happen every night, but at least once a week in the summertime, we had a lightning show just from the heat lightning to the west of us. And I'd go in after a really intense day at work and just lay down on the floor, leave the lights out, lay down on the floor and watch the lightning show. Very nice. And I found that incredibly relaxing. But then I lived in Spokane, Washington, not in the places where some of you guys are, where that lightning can mean, tornadoes and big, huge storms and stuff. I'm not sure that I would like the lightning at all if I lived where some of you guys are. Teddy hasn't experienced very many storms. We just don't have a lot of thunder and lightning normally. And so Teddy has not experienced a lot of storms. I do know that he doesn't like the sound of fireworks very much. He's not as terrified as
Barks
some.
at 'em.
Yeah, he barks at them. He doesn't. He doesn't shiver and shake like Amy did. She'd get really upset about the fireworks. She thought that was like gunfire, and she'd get really upset about it. Teddy just barks. He thinks he's a pretty tough boy. Of course, Teddy barks at everything. He is a barker. I've never seen a dog watch TV as much as Ted does. Teddy watches TV and then wants to bark at all the dogs he sees on TV. I've never seen a dog watch TV as much as him. Your 100-pound dog becomes a 4-pound Chihuahua lap dog. Oh, that's funny. So I've asked Lauren if she'll cut the ends of my hair when we get done with class today. Wish me luck. I've never had anybody at home cut my hair, but I just want the ends trimmed off because they're so shaggy. I have one of my little foam squares up under there. I guess it isn't going to matter because it'll just get glued down with a strip. Molly loves Weather Channel. That's funny. Have you ever had your cats or dogs watch one of those videos or pet channels where they have the entertainment for them? We don't have a cat channel here, but we used to have a video called Video Catnip that we would put in that had all kinds of birds and squirrels and things. Now we've got things situated where the cats can watch the real thing, but back in the day we didn't have that option, and we'd put in Video Catnip for them, and we'd have to clear the top of the TV, or the cats would, running to try and get those things they saw. Thelma said she had a Great Dane. Oh, I've been intrigued with Great Danes. They're beautiful. Only downside of having a dog, well, other than poop cleanup, that would be a big job. But the only other thing about having a dog that big is the shorter lifespan. I get so attached that I think it would just kill me if I lost him after 7 or 8 years. It was bad enough with Amy with 13 years. I thought she should have lived a lot longer than she did. She was very spry in her 12th year, but in her 13th year, suddenly she got old. Doggone it, still miss that dog. But anyway. Biscuit will meow at the kittens meowing on the videos. That's so cute. Come here, little friend. Come here. We were at the beach one time and I think it was with Amy that we saw the people with all the Great Danes. Wasn't it when we had Amy? And it was like a group of people who all had Great Danes who met at the beach, and all these Great Danes running on the beach having just the time of their lives. Amy tried to join in. They were a bit bigger than her, but she tried to join in. Okay, I'm going to add a small snowflake to mine. I didn't have one in my packet, so I'm going to use one of my pre-cut snowflakes because, I have to have my signature on there. My little signature piece. Don't think I did that. Oh, I did do that. My first one did have a snowflake. Let's put this on my blotter, aka paper towel. And I've got a couple little poke outs that need to come out of here. And if you'll forgive me, I think I'll skip the stickles for now because we have 4 more cards to do. I know that feeling very well, Kim. You said the feeling of a kid staring at you. I had the feeling of a kid crawling in between Bryce and I. Remember that, honey? The kids would have a nightmare or hear a noise or storming outside, and all of a sudden we have the feeling of covers moving and a kid crawling up between us. They weren't that little, yeah. Our kids were born half grown. Okay, here's our card. It definitely wants some stickles, both on the topper and on the background. It definitely wants some stickles, but it is gorgeous. Beautiful. Okay, that's 2 down. All right, we have these leftover pieces. Let's go ahead and get this card going while we're at it. We have this left over. We want that. Let's pull this one out. We have this left over. We're going to make our card out of our leftovers. We're going to get one of our European A6. We're going to get 2 little toppers. You know what? Maybe, well, no. I did use, maybe I'll wait to do this one because I did use a leftover strip out of our bigger cardstock. I'm going to wait to do this one. I'll just set these toppers and things and these pieces with this because I want to take a scrap from my other piece of cardstock too. As long as I got this going, I just will poke this out. And let's just set all this together. Set that aside for a minute. I do notice that's a glue-on bow, so let's get a bow maker out here and get a bow made for that. I am going to make a little smaller bow for this one because I don't want the bow to take over in this card. It's going to fit between those two. So let's go ahead and get the bow made for that one so it can start drying. We're going to make a 3-4-3. This, if you haven't seen it before and you're watching for the first time, this is our embellishment attic bow maker. Highly recommended crafting tool. We have them available in the store. You probably will not find them other places. You might find one in Europe. I think there's a store that specializes in ribbon that does what I do, and when they have them available, they snag up as many as they can get. But you probably won't find them in any other US store. When Tattered Lace makes a new one, I buy up all I can because they only make them for a little while and then they retire them. And this is a tool I like to use all the time. I did not do live streams before COVID. Live streams were our answer to having to cancel all our on-site classes, Kim. We did do videos before COVID, but we never did live streams. We had been talking for 2 years about doing a live stream, and we just hadn't gotten around to it. And when I had to cancel all my on-site classes due to COVID, and we thought about what that was going to do to our revenue stream, I talked to Bryce and said, honey, you know how we've been talking about that for 2 years? We're starting Saturday. You got to figure out how to do this because we're going to do a live stream on Saturday. What? But he did it because my hubby's the best. Here's our pretty little bow, just that fast. Look at that bow you can tie using the Embellishment Attic Bow Maker. Now I'm going to use our other secret weapon on there. We're going to use our best glue ever. This is from Scrap Perfect. Why is it the best glue ever? Well, it is the best glue ever for this particular job. I don't think it's automatically the best glue for every job, but for this job, it is just perfection. I'm going to put a little stripe of this glue on the bow. I'm going to put a little stripe of this glue on the tail. I'm going to put a little spot of glue right in the center. Little being the operative word here. We do not want this glue to saturate through to the front of our organza. We just want little bits. The reason it's the best glue ever for this is because, see how much I use there, guys? Where it's white, it's tiny little dots. It's the best glue ever for this job because it goes on in liquid form, gets into the fibers of the ribbon, and then dries into a glue dot. So this ribbon is going to go on and stick really, really well. You know how glue dots don't necessarily like to stick well to fabric? Because this goes on in a liquid form, it gets right down into that fabric, and then it always sticks well to the paper. So that's why it's one of my favorite supplies for bow making, and I think it's the best glue ever for that job. Not always necessarily my favorite glue for all applications, because, you know, for gluing tiny embellishments and stuff on the front of your card, you don't necessarily want that always sticky kind of a material there. Okay, let's do this one next. Hi, Samantha. Welcome, friend. We started in April 2020, Kim, so we were right ahead. In fact, maybe it was May. You caught us fairly early in the beginning, though, because we only did the videos before then. Okay. So for this card, where's my card sample? There it is. We're going to use our 4x8 card. We're going to use this piece of cardstock. We're going to use this fuchsia colored adorable scoreable. And we're going to use the sparkly, beautiful embellishments that Brittany cut for you from our embellishment pack. This one, these are going to need a little bit of TLC, a little bit of poke out here and there. Where's my pokey tool? Where's my pokey tool? And she cut these out of glitter paper, so they might take a minute to get all the little pokies out of, because they tend to hang up a little bit more in the glitter paper. But the final effect is worth the effort, because these cut in glitter are just spectacular. Look at that. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Let it snow. It's already clean. Do you want to take the pokey tool and clean this one out for me while I'm constructing this card, honey? It'll take a minute to get all the little pokey pieces out. Thank you. All right. Let's do Let's get our card clean here. So we're going to take our card, we're going to fold it. We're going to put some tape on the front. All of our regulars know that I use finger lift tape. I love finger lift tape because, unlike a glue runner, it never jams. I never have to take the thing apart, get the little reel of tape out and try and use it up because I have broken the tape runner, which I seem to inevitably do. I think maybe I pressed too hard. I'm not sure, but I seem to be death on glue on tape runners. And I always end up taking the little cartridges apart because I can't stand to throw away good material and then trying to run them. But the part about that tape that's bad is that you then have to figure out how to separate that paper tape from the glue. This is really easy because finger lift tape is made with an edge that doesn't have glue on it. So you can pick it and pull it really easily. It's fast and easy to use, and you get a lot on a roll for the money. Oh, our next party. Our party is on the 26th. It starts at 1 p.m. Pacific. We're scheduling to go until 4:30 p.m. Pacific. We're allowing ourselves a half hour of wiggle room in case we're running over. So not later than 5 p.m. And it is going to be great fun. We are going to have lots of prizes. We will have our prize wheel. We will have games. Margie and I are going to take shots for words again, but it won't be alcohol shots because that's not our basic nature. We are going to be using a different material for our shots. Last year we did, or yeah, I guess it is last year now. When we did our November party, we did chocolate shots. And I thought both of us were going to go into sugar comas. So we opted for something a little smaller this year. I'm going to trim my card down just a little bit. I got kind of a rough edge on the front. And I got my my cardstock on just a little off. I don't get excited about that when I do that. I just trim it. So I'm actually trimming all four edges, just a tiny amount, to make everything look just right. I don't get upset when I don't get something straight. I just fix it. And this one, I don't know if I just didn't line it up straight or what, but it ended up off too. Anyway, we're going to use a smaller material this year, yet to be announced. I know what it is, but you guys can wait to see. Darn it! Why am I having that problem? Am I just that far off? Wowzer. When I close my card, it's showing that my back cover is higher. Am I not lining up straight? There we go. Maybe that takes care of it. There we go. Okay. Wow. I don't know when I've had that much trouble cutting a straight line. I have a great paper cutter. It's the operator, not the paper cutter. All right. So I have my card covered. I have no idea what size it is now. Just a little under 4 inches. I'm going to cut this piece right here off to be my topper. I'm going to want that topper to be, I'm going to make mine 3 5/8. You might start with 3 3/4 if you didn't have to trim your card down like I did. That's going to look great right there. Okay, I like that. I'm going to take, this card is usually, I believe, 8 1/4. Let's measure our length. Mine is now just right at 8 inches. Still got a tiny bit of white showing there. What is my problem? Okay, lay that in there really straight. I just seem incapable of cutting a straight line today. Okay, so my paper is now 8 inches. I'm gonna cut my topper to 7 3/4. I'm taking the extra off the top. And let's see how this is looking. I could actually use an 1/8 more off. I'm going to take just a tad more off and see how that looks. Okay, that's good. Now I got the margins I want. That look pretty. Okay. So, hi, Kathy girl. Good to see you, friend. Better late than never. All right. Put my little tape flags on so I can line this up straight on my card, because clearly I need all the help I can get today. It's scary to think I have to make more card samples today. No telling what I'm going to end up with. This is why I use tape flags, because I started to get unstraight. I can pop it loose. It's back where I want it. Just noticed as I was putting that down that I actually have kind of a little bit of a overlap here on the back. There we go. That's better. All right. I got my bears down. I'm going to put my Let It Snow. Did you finish that?
Yeah.
Did I get it back? Oh, may I have that? Looks beautiful. May I have it back, please? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Gonna get my mat back out of here. Gonna get my, if you're wondering what I'm using for glue here, I'm using the Big Fat Nouveau glue pen. I lay my little element face down on my mat and I tap all over, trying to hold my element as straight as possible so none of my glue is getting on the front of it. You know, I just don't want it to wiggle around where I've gotten glue on the front already. And then I can pick up my element. It's nice and tacky on the back only. And I can position it on my project. This glitter paper is gorgeous with this. Brittany's choice, I'll let you know. She didn't have enough to cut one up and die cut it to make these for everybody, so she chose some glitter paper instead. She makes beautiful choices of paper, and we have many, many beautiful choices from which to make. Okay. For the sake of Elsie and Catherine and any other international viewers, we should tell these guys where we're from. I know we do that once in a while, but let's do it again. Debbie, Grace. Oh, you guys did? Okay. You all did. Well, we're in Oregon. We're just outside of Portland, Oregon, on the border between Oregon and Washington in the north of the state. I'm a little behind. To swim across the pond. There we go. Now this desperately needs stickles. Let's show you the stickled version. Look how beautiful that is when you get the stickles on there. So it definitely wants stickles. Beautiful stickles. Or I just want to say again, we have restocked our super fine, ultra high quality glitter, and it's out there in the store again. So if you have not been able to find that, it's because we were sold out for a little while, but we have repackaged some and it's out there now. I found it determined to get that card stuck into something. Okay, I want to hold these two cards that are done more with the scraps, and I'm going to hold those two back. We're going to go ahead and do our 6x6 easel card this time. And that ultra high quality glitter that we have works really, really well with the quickie glue pen to give you fine lines of glitter. A little drink of soda there. We're going to use our 6x6 card. We're going to use this great big topper of our topper sheet. As I'm looking over these cards that we're going to be doing, I see that we have another card that has a glue-on ribbon. Let's just get that taken care of before we move on here. So let's get a ribbon made so that that can be drying. This time I'm going to make a 5-4-5. So I'm going to go around the post that says number 5 on it. I'm going to come back. It doesn't matter which color bow maker you have, they all have the 5-4-5 marks on them, or except the very smallest one of the. Let's try that again. I'm going to start with the number 4 because it's a 4-5-4. So we're going to go around the post that says number 4. We're going to come back to the post that says number 5, number 5, number 4, number 4. I'm going to take the end of our ribbon, go down through the hole in our bow maker. We're going to slide our ribbon up. The one that we went through the hole with, we're going to slide that up. Everything up onto the bow maker. If it's anything was hanging below, we're going to come through the slot between 1 and 1, so it's 0 basically. We're going to tie this end and the end that we had holding at the bottom. If you haven't taken our bow maker class, we're really kind of due to get one of those on the schedule. I'll get one on the schedule soon. And if you, what heading do you find a Nouveau glue pen, and what's it called? It's called a Nouveau glue pen, large, and you find it in paper crafting A to, what is it, A to J, something like that, A to K, A to J. Go to that category, then choose adhesives, and then choose glue, and you will find it in there. Or maybe Bryce will link it for you. Okay, We got our beautiful bow, just that easy. Looky there.
This one?
I can't see that one.
Oh, the new large glue.
Yes. So we got our beautiful bow. I'm going to flip that over. I'm not wrapping this around a card, so I'm going to go ahead and cut my whale tails in it. Make a taco, clip upward into towards the end of the ribbon at an angle. And I'm going to put a little best glue ever on here and let that start drying. Only downside, well, there's a couple downsides. If you use this when it's wet, if it's still white at all and you try and put it on, it doesn't work right. So you have to let it dry to clear. One word of caution. And you don't want to put it on too thick because you don't want it to soak through, and you don't want to wait until next year there's time to put it on. It's kind of a slow drying glue, which is why it pays to pay attention to your designs, tie those, and let those get processing while you're doing your other stuff. Okay, so we're working on this one. We are going to need our big snowflake, which you'll have in your supplies kit. We're going to need this piece of cardstock. We are going to need this. Oh, what Brittany gave us for this project. This piece of cardstock. And we are going to need, she didn't give us a white piece. You're going to need a plain white piece of cardstock. I apologize, we didn't get one in your kit, but you didn't get charged for it. You just need a plain white piece of card. Sometimes if it doesn't show, she forgets to include it. All we need is, it just doesn't have to be anything fancy, guys. Just a, oh, this is just a piece out of my card block, but we're going to build this topper up on a piece of cardstock. Actually, maybe this is enough, maybe not, I don't know, I'll look. If you have the insert pack, grab your insert, because it's useful to put that in to this card as we make it. It is not included in your kit. So go ahead and find an insert sheet for this one. I think I'm going to use, I'm just going to use one of these snowflake inserts for mine. Your insert is not included in your kit, but they are highly recommended for these, because the inserts are just as stunning as the papers. And we've made some insert packs that are very affordable. We actually broke the pack into 3 pieces so that you could get just one set of inserts instead of 3. If you didn't buy the luxury kit, it's you're only getting 1 of each instead of 3 of each. Okay. Hi, Adeline. Good to see you, friend. Okay, so what we have here, I have my 6x6 card. I added a piece of cardstock. I brought in an insert sheet. If you have those, grab one. We need this out of off our topper sheet. We need this out of our supplies pack. We need this really pretty snowflake that Brittany cut for you. And we need this piece of cardstock. We're ready to go. We're ready to roll. Let's do it. Okay. That phrase, ready to roll, reminds me of having watched the Flight 93 9/11 video last night. And on September 11th, I just feel compelled to honor those who lost their lives and those who fought so bravely to try and help everybody else. The passengers on Flight 93 continue to be an inspiration to all of us, I think, for their selfless devotion to saving lives and giving up their own lives in the process, and all the firefighters and first responders who died during 9/11, as well as all those who lost their lives on 9/11. Don't mean to be Debbie Downer, but I do think that it's important and inspirational to commemorate them on this really important day. So, okay, let's make, what do I want to do here first? Let's go ahead and cover our card first. I was saying to Bob last night as we were watching that video, it was a painful video to watch. It's a hard video to watch, listening to all the family talk about the loss of their loved ones. At the same time, I think we owe it to them as a country to stop and just remember, So, there we go. Okay, we're going to cover a card. Okay. See how my tape kind of hangs off the edge of my card a little bit? I never liked that to happen, but it's such an easy resolution. Take your finger and just push it back up on the card. So easy to fix. Yeah, without the passengers on 93 doing what they did, it's so true, Andrea. It's so true. It's such a selfless act. Okay, I'm laying my cardstock right down over that card fold. See there, I only taped half of the front of my card. I was kind of talking, so I want to make sure that I'm clear about what I did. I took my card, I folded half of my front of my card down to the fold line, and I scored it. Okay? And then I put my tape only on half. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut along that line. Okay, so I have half of my front covered. Now, I'm going to put tape on my other half. What I'm trying to do is create a crease here that will fold nicely, but where the cardstock is butted up really nice and tight. So I'm going to put tape on my upper half of my fold now. And I'm going to take this card, and this is an important tip, guys. So watch this. I want you to take that cardstock where we've just cut it, and I want you to put that right up against what we just cut. Don't worry about the fold line, but up against the cardstock where we just cut it, and press that tape down. Now we're going to cut around it again. Looks like I got just a little white showing on the edge. I'm not sure it's even enough to worry about. I mean, it's a tiny little bit. But what I did get, and I want you to see this, is an absolutely seamless gatefold there. It's not really a gatefold, but my fold line. The fold down, you'll see a little bit of white there. That's inevitable. But when it's folded out and you pull it out of the envelope, you have a very solid color. Okay? So butt that right up against the cut piece. Take the cut edge and butt it right up against where you just cut it. And you end up with a beautiful fold line. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to insert my insert sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put I'm going to go ahead and pop my tape on there, just the bottom piece, just the bottom side. I'm going to put my insert sheet in, and I'm going to cut around that. It's useful to have your insert available as you make this card, because that way we can place our topper for our easel right on top of our insert, and your card is absolutely finished. So if you didn't get the insert pack yet, I recommend you get the insert pack, because this card is really beautiful when it's done. Okay, we have our easel, lined easel done. It's beautiful inside and out. Now we're going to set this aside for a minute, and we're going to build our topper piece, this piece. I'm going to take my piece of cardstock. This can be any old piece of cardstock. It can be, a partial piece of adorable scoreable. You just need it to be this, as big as this topper piece. So a 6x6 is going to work really well for this. I'm going to take my pieces of card here. I'm going to take just my outer ring off, actually. I'm leaving my center ring and my center topper piece attached. There's actually two pieces left here. And we are going to, I think Brittany's assumption here. Yes, Kim R., there is a very good Brittany's bargain on brand new in memory box dies. You want to link Britt's bargain there, please? Okay, I want you to cut some pieces of this. They're like an inch wide, inch and a half maybe. Freehand cutting is fine. rather than using an extra wide piece of cardstock, and yours might be wider than mine, I'm not sure. But what Brittany did here, in the interest of saving materials, was to give us a piece that was just big enough to get the job done. So on mine, I'm going to put these pieces inside. Now, here's another tip. Have you seen my freehand cutting? I'm going to put these pieces just like this. See what I'm doing? I could have covered the whole back of this. And if you're using a less expensive piece of paper, this is a fine way to do this. Just glue this ring down and then cut around it. Okay? But because I'm using a fairly expensive paper, I'm going to be stingy about what I do. And I'm going to put this ring on bits of paper instead of putting my expensive paper under the whole thing, when most of it isn't going to show. Now, I'll tell you what else I'm going to do because I'm lazy and I don't want to cut more than I have to. I'm going to put that paper on so I don't have to cut that scallopy edge. Because that's the more intricate cutting. Now I'm going to just take my scissors and I'm going to trim around this piece. And candidly, your freehand trimming doesn't have to be great. What doesn't show doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be. In fact, I'm going to show you. Mine was not. I don't know if you can see it. Mine's not precise back there. It doesn't have to be. No, you're not going to be able to see it. Oh. Sorry, Catherine. Oh, darn. Maybe the time will come. I've been talking with a company that says that they can ship internationally at reasonable prices. So I can't guarantee that's going to happen. I won't guarantee something I don't know will happen, but I am still trying. It's just that the US Postal Service prices for international shipping are just ridiculous, Catherine. They're totally insane. And you shouldn't have to pay that much to get stuff. So, okay, I'm gluing this one down and I'm going to cut around it. Now, this is going to take more time. I mean, I'm just going to be honest here, guys. It's going to take more time than it would to put this on a piece of paper and just cut around it. But if you're using velvet paper or you're using glitter paper or any paper that's more expensive, it only has to be where it shows. So putting it in on these little pieces and cutting around it is fine. Now, if you have a bigger piece of glitter paper in your kit and you just want to glue the whole frame down and cut around the outside, bless you. You can do that. But this is why I'm doing it. I have a smaller piece of paper. I can make it work for this. And it's way more thrifty than it would be to put a bunch of paper where it's not going to show. So I'm doing it this way. I only have to let it stick down about that far. See how much of the pink is showing? It only has to stick down about that far. So I'm going to put my next piece on. I know it takes a minute longer, but some of these little tips can be really useful when you really want to use something and you don't have a lot of it, or you want to use something and it's a more expensive material. Some of these tips can be just really neat to save you some money, save that extra special material.
Wrote it down to ask you, what card are we working on?
We're working on the Easel card. It's in the Bear Hugs kit. We have covered our easel. Now we're making our topper. And as I was saying, we could have just taken this topper and glued the entire topper over a piece of glitter card. We absolutely could do that, just filling the inside. But when you don't have enough, or you're trying to conserve because it's an expensive piece of paper, this little tip right here can save you a little money. Save that expensive card for where you want to use it and let you get more mileage from your dollar. My glue bottle had been being really good. I don't know if you guys had noticed that, but right there, just that spot, it finally decided it was going to give me a hard time again.
Rufus says, sorry, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6.
Oh, we are on number 4. Number 4. Our last 2 cards are going to be cards where we do a little paper piecing.
Isn't that what you're doing there?
Well, I'm sort of paper piecing here too. But when I say paper piecing, I mean I'm going to use the scraps left over from my kit to get 2 more cards using the little toppers. Okay, so I've got that done. This side's a lot smaller. I think it's still going to be okay though. Let's see what's going to happen when I put my topper on top here. Look, it's going to be perfect. Now I'm going to take my topper. I'm going to glue that on top. Now, if you glued a piece of cardstock over the entire back and just cut around it, you already have your solid topper piece made. Where I was kind of paper piecing in underneath, I'm going to need to glue mine down to a piece of cardstock, which I'm going to do right now. Maybe. Really, really have to get my glue bottles refreshed.
They don't believe you.
I know they don't believe me. They have no reason to believe me because I keep saying that for the last how many classes now? I have no reason to trust I'm going to get it done. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. That sounds fun, Kathy girl. You're very clever, you know that? We are lucky to have you in our group because you are just full of fun ideas. And I love that you will share them. Because 30 or 40 minds are better than one, right? You know, you guys have great ideas about stuff. Ah, boy, that is just being a bear cat. This right here, I do not have tacky glue in there, but this is what would happen if you put tacky glue in your. This is what would happen if you put tacky glue in your needle nose glue bottle. Right here, what you're seeing. And it is not worth it, trust me. You do not want that to happen. It is irritating to the max. Okay, so I glued that down and cut around here. All I'm doing here is going to make this look a little better from the back. That's all I'm doing. Because this flap will stick up. And I care that everything that it shows has nice finished detail to it. So if it shows, we want the details to be nice. I realize I'm cutting off camera, but I can see what I'm doing. Just a relatively important detail. Good night, Catherine. Thanks for stopping by, friend. Catch you on the rerun. Okay. So, I've got this. Now, I'm going to glue my topper in, or I could put this up on some foam squares. If I put it on foam squares, I want to make sure that it's not going to show any. I think it'll be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up on some foam squares because I think it'd be pretty. Wouldn't hurt to catch both rings with your foam square to kind of hold those rings together since we have two pieces there. What were they talking about at the bottom? What are you looking for? Oh, check the other day. I still have 3 bottles of Stardust Stickles going. I hear you. I will not toss it. You guys know this. I will not toss those bottles until I have every drop of that product out of there. I just keep using them and using them. Once you have done these things, take your topper and position it the opposite direction, centering it on all 4 sides, and you get this beautiful topper that we're going to put on our card. That's an empty sheet. So let's put this here. Now remember, guys, when you do this part, find your center for where you want this to go by closing your card and looking at how you want it to look when it's pulled out of the envelope. And then that happens because this is a 6x6 card, that it's right in the middle of this bumpy right here. On the side, you got 3 little loops. The center of that bumpy is our halfway point. So I'm going to tape this, but I'm going to tape it only to that point, only to the center point. And get a good amount of tape on there. You want this to stay on. If you have any little tape hanging over the edges, be sure and roll it back up onto the tape. I probably will have because I was the Barely Art Glue. Boy, I'm familiar with that one. I don't know if I picked it up or not yet, though. If I don't have it, I'll get some. Okay. I've got my bottom taped. You'll notice See the bottom of my thing? I wasn't careful about how I cut the bottom because I knew that wasn't going to show. But the top part where it is going to show, I was really careful. Now I'm going to position this on my card right in the middle. My tape line should stay below the middle of the card. I'm positioning side to side. A little off. Oh, it let me pull it up because I didn't push it down tight. Okay, side to side and top to bottom, get it centered. And now we have that beautiful stand up on our card. There's only two things left to do. We're going to cut a small piece of paper that we can use as a stopper. Whatever did I do with the big piece? There it is. We've got this left. I'm going to cut myself a small piece. Yeah, that's the one I used right there. I'm going to cut myself a small piece of this to use as a topper. I just need about a 1/2 inch strip. Just about a 1/2 inch. If you happen to have some shaker tape sitting on your desk, this is a really good job for shaker tape. I did not include any in your kit because you can do it with foam squares. But if you happen to have some shaker tape sitting on your desk, which I do, then run a couple strips of shaker tape down that strip. What this is going to be is this is going to catch our card and hold it open. So we're calling this the stopper. Now, wherever I place my stopper, is going to influence how my card stands up. I can go way down here, and my card is going to have kind of a relaxed sort of a stance to it. Or I can come up here. I can stand it up more upright. That's what I'm going to do because I want to use that pretty snowflake Brittany cut for us. And I want to put that snowflake in the center right below this because it's beautiful. So I'm going to put mine far enough back that I can put that snowflake in there. Okay? So first I'll peel my tape. I agree with you, Kathy Girl. If it's got purple glitter and holograph, how could it not be beautiful? Especially purple glitter paper, I must say. Okay. So I'm going to position my snowflake again so I can see where I want to go. I'm going to put my stopper right above that. I didn't measure that in advance. That's more work than I want to do. I'm just going to clip off what I don't need. There we go. Now I've got my stopper. I think I told you we had two things left to do a minute ago. One is we're going to glue down our snowflake. I'm adding a number 2A because we also have this little topper to add, which I forgot about when I was telling you your supplies. Get the bear hugs, especially for you out. And we're going to put that up here in the corner because it'll be really cute. Okay. All right. So I'm going to flip this glitter piece over. Up, you missed some, honey. There's one more ring there. I'm not sure it's even worth taking out, but there is one more little faceted piece in there. This is such a beautiful snowflake. Once again, it's out of that snowflake pack I showed you earlier, and it's so beautiful. It's just like it's done in fine filigree work. It's just gorgeous. One more little set of poke outs, honey missed. Getting those out of there. There we go. Now let me show you that snowflake again. It's gorgeous. Okay, let's get some glue on the back of this using my Nouveau big glue pen. Always shake this when you want to use it. Dab it all over. Gets sticky right away. Center that snowflake right in the middle of your card. Put that bear hugs up on a little bit of foam tape. I'm going to put that right up in the corner of my card. Oops, missed one of the papers. Come on. Well, that whole square just not ink cooperative. It's going away. And let's get a couple more. Okay. Bear hugs. I'll put that right over the corner here. And here we go. Now we're not done yet, but we're done on camera because you still want some stickles on there. Yes? 2 stickles. Yes, please. And it's beautiful when you pull it out of the envelope too. How gorgeous is that? Woohoo! I like tonic glue. Whoever said they're using tonic glue is good. In fact, I gave tonic glue in one of our kits because I had a bunch of it. And okay, that's card number 4. Now our last 2 cards we're doing today will be done using some of our scraps. So let's retrieve this that we started earlier. This one and this one. I'm not throwing any of the scraps on my table yet because I'm going to make these cards with the little toppers using my scraps. For this card that we're about to make, I'm going to want my little pink bow that we have processing back there. It is now completely clear and very, very sticky. No white showing. Means it's ready to use. We are going to get an A6 card, European A6, out of our kit. We're going to get 2 pieces of A6 mirror board. First thing we're going to do, and we also need some more of that velveteen paper we already cut into. We'll bring that back. Okay, here we go. We're going to cover our card with some European ASICs. Night, Elsie. Thanks for stopping to see us, friend. Okay. All right. I'm going to cover my card with this. And I'll pop that Rainbow Mary on there. I'm going to remove the foam square stuck to our nifty jifty scissors. Trim around that air board. All right. Whoops. That piece of mirror board has some adhesive on the corner. But I just rubbed it off. It looks good now. Okay. Now I'm going to take the other piece of mirror board and I'm going to cut it to the width just slightly larger than my toppers. My little toppers are 2 1/4. I'm going to cut this to 2 1/2 inches wide. What'd you say, hon?
Cards with your eyes closed. I want to see that.
Thank you, Roberta. I'd rather you'd buy it from me too. Okay, I want to cut myself a piece of this gorgeous pink, and it needs to be 1/4 inch smaller than my card. My card is 4 and a little over 1/8 by 5 7/8. So I'm going to do 5 and let's see, what's my best way to cut this? I do 5 and well, I don't want to cut it that way. Let's see. I'll cut it this way. Okay, I want 4 1/8. A little bit for cutoff. I'm gonna go to. I want to go to 4 and 3 7/8. My width. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. There we go. And I'm going to go to 5 5/8 for my length. And I'm going to put this down. This should attach nicely with regular tape because it's finished on the back. It doesn't have that velvet on the back. We'll have to get Teddy to make a brief appearance here before we do our show and tell. I got this a little long. I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be okay. I'm going to go ahead and use it. Okay. You wonder how sticky that bow is? sticky. That bow was grabbing my card in the back. Okay, we got our beautiful pink Mary on here, our pink velveteen paper. And I still have, look at this beautiful piece I have left over for use on another project. That's enough to do a whole card. Okay, now I want to grab something I have left over. See what all I have here. Oh, okay. I'm going to switch my design up a little bit because I just realized that I used gray on the back of here and I used Mary on the back of here. Doesn't matter. I can switch and make the other one that way. Okay, I'm going to use this beautiful piece of Mary here. I have this pink. Oh, I have this nice pink here. I'm going to use this. And I want to use a little strip off of, where is that? Where's that card stack hiding out? Where's there? Oh, here. I'm going to use a little bitty strip off of this down the center too. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to take like about a 1/2 inch strip of this. I have that. And now see this piece we have left over, the sky piece? We have that pretty, pretty pink snowfall design in there. Let's cut that piece off. And we'll have to decide if we want it in one piece or two. Cut it off so it's all nice and we'll make sure it's nice and even. Got a little bit of pattern on it, which is kind of deceptive to your eyes. Seeing if it's even, but okay. I have this piece of pink, and I think I'm going to like it better if I split this piece of pink into 2 pieces. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to split this again. We're going to use, which topper's on here? I'm going to use the baby bear, and I'm going to use this mama bear on this pink card. Okay. Or I could just use the 2 baby bears if I chose to. But I think I'm going to go with this because I like that other topper with that color. So I'm going to use these 2 toppers. This one and this one. These are 2 little toppers. We're going to make a beautiful card using these 2 little toppers and some leftover pieces. Okay, we've got this piece of mirror board cut. It was 2.5 inches. I'm going to split this pink. Okay. My pink right now is about 1.5 inches. I'm going to cut it so that I have about 3/4 of an inch twice. It doesn't have to be precise. So let's show you what we're going to do with it. I'm going to turn those over. I'm going to turn those over. Maybe I'm not. Turn them this way. I'm going to line those up. I'm going to put some tape on the back of this one. And I'm going to make my own topper for the middle of this card. So I'm going to put some tape on here on this holographic piece we have. I just wanted this to be a little wider than it was before, so I'm just going to create my own. Okay. Oh, I dropped it. Fortunately, I dropped without the adhesive side down. And I'm going to attach. Oops, I only cut one side. Darn it. Looks like I got one side wider than the other. I'm going to need to trim that down too. Yeah, I need more tape. Gotta get my tape closer to the edge. Is it warm in here? Is it
No.
just me? Just me?
Just you.
Feels warm in here.
Freezing.
Huh? It's freezing? Doesn't feel freezing, honey. Okay. Let's put this down here. All right. I'm liking that. It's a little uneven on this side. I'm going to straighten that up just a little. Get this nice little strip for the center of my mirror board. I think that's going to work okay. Need some more tape though. This is paper piecing at its finest, guys. If you put a note on your order that you want Ashley to put some sticker backer paper in your order, I'm sure she'd do it for you. If you need some sticker backer paper so that will release your glue dots, I'm sure she would do that if you just put a little note on your order to please put the backer sheet to a shipping label in your order. I'm sure she'd do that for you. You got to be precise about what it is you want, though. Otherwise, she might beat me for suggesting such a thing. Which is really kind of funny, because if you knew Ashley and how sweet she is, she doesn't threaten to beat me at all. Now, Brittany threatens me regularly. And I love her for it. Ashley never threatens me. Only Brittany. We could make these cards just stretch and stretch, and we end up with such beautiful things. I mean, this does not look like it's made out of scraps, does it? It's gorgeous. Because we're clever. We're clever folks, honey, just in case you didn't know. I was talking to a customer on the phone yesterday, and she said, I called you a couple of years ago. I don't know if you remember. I said, I'm not sure, you know. It's been a long time. She said, I called you a couple of years ago. That's the last time I talked to you on the phone. I told you were my favorite movie star. And you said, hang on just a minute. And I heard you yell, honey, she says I'm a movie star. She said, I've never forgotten that. It was so funny. Oh. Okay. See, these scissors are in fact magnetic. Picked up my pen. That was kind of funny. Honey, she says I'm a movie star. I better treat me right. She says I'm a movie star. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh. My family would disagree with you guys, but that's okay. I'm going to take your comments because I like them. I keep trying to get them to treat me like a movie star, but you know, guys, it just won't do it.
What do you mean? We already walk your dog, make you dinner.
Bryce says, I already walk your dog, make you dinner. What else do you want? Oh, gosh. Okay, put my bow in the middle. Actually, you need a pedicure and wash your hair. I like that idea, Ruth Ann. I like it. Yeah, she wants you to craft with us. That's what Mary said. She wants you to craft with us, Bryce. Maybe Bryce will do a craft hack for our party.
A what?
A craft hack for our party. Maybe you'll do a little something for us. A little something? No?
I'll try and not make the power go out.
Would you deny us on our party day, honey?
Yep.
Oh, I bet that was fun, Sharma. Making a crazy quote pattern for the background. Great idea. They're trying to apply a little peer pressure here. Can you see that?
I see that.
We'll see if I can convince him. We'll see. Maybe just some little craft tip or something he'll do for us on camera. Maybe. It's that or Pictionary, honey.
I'll just make your Easel lock you in.
There we go, people. How pretty is that? There's our scrap card. Oh, did you see that? I heard that, Bryce. Aren't we worthy?
Yep.
Now, this time, last time, I think I used scraps off an insert sheet. If you have an insert sheet, that was a really nice way to go with this, and it allowed me a little bit more narrow borders. But you know, I think that the wider borders work too. Oops, I forgot my star though, or my snowflake. I gotta have a snowflake on here. So let me get a snowflake because it's the signature of these. It simply must be done. The signature of this kit. It looked like two, but it really is just one. Just had a couple little pokies that had to come out.
Yeah, they
updates on Craftaganza. I got sidetracked with the pod. The Craftaganza cards are coming. We've actually done a couple of Craftaganza cards already as classes, but there will be way more coming your way soon. I just gotta sit down and barrel through them. I needed to get the pod in the garage done while it was still sunny outside because I knew stuff was going to have to sit outside for a while. So I'm a little behind schedule, but they're coming. I promised. And when I promise, I deliver. I will have them for you. There we go. Now it's got its star or snowflake. There we go. All right. Somebody shows us an outstanding recipe. That's a good one. Maybe. That would be fun during the party. Okay, last card coming up here. It's another scrap card. We're going to use this. This is our sample card. We're going to use this because we can't waste any of this. It's beautiful. We're going to use this border we cut off earlier. We're going to use this piece of mirror board that we have left. We're going to use this gray cardstock. We're going to use this beautiful glitter piece that Brittany gave us. And we should have one left of our mirror board and one card base left. That pretty much cleans out my supplies pile over there. And I have the only topper I did not use out of this is the To an Amazing Mum because they spell that differently than we do, and because I prefer generally not to zero things down to one person unless there's specifically one I want to work, that I want to do a card for. So that's the only topper I didn't use. Everything else is used out of that sheet. Whew, I'm hot. Hot. Okay, we're going to start covering our card with, actually I said with Mary, we're going to actually cover our card with this gray cardstock, I think, because why not? We have it here. It's available. If I go this way, I actually have a whole nother card worth, so I think I'm going to go ahead and, if I go this way, I have a whole nother card left, so I think I'm going to trim off that 1/8 inch and go ahead and go that direction. And make it Mom. That works. Okay. I ran out of scraps. I'm working on Christmas blessings. We are on card number 6. And we have lots of little pieces left, so we're going to use them up here. Let's use them up. I actually think I'll change this design a little bit and use this just for fun. Why not? I'm going to change my design up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to cover my card with this gray. And as I said, that means since I'm going this direction, I'm going to trim just a tiny amount off, but why not? Your bows will get better and better as you work at it, Kim. Usually, if you're not liking the way that it turns out as much as mine, maybe you just need to manipulate the bow a little bit at the end. You may need to tighten it a little. Okay, I covered my card with the dark gray Mary, or excuse me, not Mary, Adorable Scorable. I trimmed off the extra little bit of white at the bottom. Come on. There we go. Okay, now I have this absolutely gorgeous piece of glitter paper. Look at this holographic glitter paper. Woohoo! Brittany is about to list, I don't think she got it done this week. She's about to list a pack of this holographic glitter paper from Doodle. I think it's from Doodlebug. It's coming up in the store, to a store near you very soon. Beautiful. If we don't have it this week, we'll probably have it next week. I trimmed that to 3 and 3 3/4, and that's a nice fit. I'm going to trim it to 5 5/8. Yep, needs to be trimmed just another 1/8. There we go. That gray and that turquoise is yummy. Isn't that beautiful? Ooh, that's so pretty. And talk about matching the tone of these cards. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Now, I will tell you one thing about this Doodlebug cardstock. It's absolutely, positively, totally, and completely gorgeous with all those colors reflecting in it. It does shed a little bit. Does shed more than some of our typical cardstocks do. But you know, we put up with it happily because it's totally beautiful. Okay. Doodlebug. Yes, I'm sure that's the manufacturer of this cardstock. It will be coming to a craft store near you, very near you. Very soon. Gorgeous, beautiful package of this really amazingly beautiful cardstock. There we go. Got it down. Pull the tapes. Looks beautiful. Okay, now I've decided that I'm going to do this a little differently than the original. You guys know sometimes I have to do that, right? That I just feel compelled to change up the design just a little bit. And you guys are usually pretty patient about it. So thank you for that, because sometimes I just need to do it. I'm going to take this leftover piece here. I'm going to trim this down just a tad. I'm going to take that extra little arm off of it. So I have this beautiful piece of remaining holographic card. I'm going to make this a bit wider than my holographic card. I have a choice on this holographic card whether to use the darker piece here or the purple. I'm going to turn this around. I want the purplish side showing since we have that really pretty purple bow that's now ready to use. See how it's shiny in places? That's our glue. That's our best glue. And it's now no longer white, so we know that it's safe to use. I'm going to turn this around so that the purple end is the one that's up here. And I have to decide how wide I want this to be. I want that beautiful background card to show too. I like that. I think I'm going to leave the margin about that wide, maybe about 1/4 of an inch of that pretty gray showing. I'm not putting the mirror on this. I'm putting this gray cardstock on here. Why? Because I have it. And it's different and it's fun. So let's do it. So I'm going to take the tape off of here. And boy, sometimes I wish you guys could show us stuff instead of just seeing me. We'd have to change our live stream to a different format to do that, though. I have talked about trying to have guests be able to. Oh, hi, Pauline. She just made a scrapbook using Doodlebug. Okay. So I'm going to trim this up just a tad. I'm going to make sure I got it straight. That's straight there. Okay, that's straighter. Now I want to get this straight. So I'm just cutting my, if you can't see what I'm doing, I'm just cutting my cardstock to make this side match the other side. Might be just a tad wider. I'm going to come back at it just a little bit. There we go. That looks good. Okay, so I got a purple. I got my gray cardstock on the back. Okay, I'm going to match this up. I don't really see any need to go clear to the top of the card, so I think I'll cut this to 5 7/8. Excuse me, 5 5/8. 5 5/8. Boy, I'm liking this. This is pretty. That'll fit in there nicely now. It actually needs to be trimmed just a little bit more. Okay. All right. That looks good. All right. Now I have this little strip from earlier. I could put here in the middle if I want to. Have to decide if I want to. Do I have any? I just have this much. I could put that there. I'm trying to decide what I want to put here. I think I'm going to go ahead and go with the wider one with the stars, just like I did last time, and put this here because I love the way it looks when I get a little star, a little snowflake up at the top there. It looks so pretty with the snowflake on it. Let's see, let me get the right kind of snowflake. Here's one. Because then I can put this here, and that looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and go with this. I could, if I wanted, trim off that white strip, but I actually think that white strip is interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tape this piece right into the middle. This light blue leftover piece. I'm going to tape that right into the middle of my cardstock here. Sometimes it's just looking for what's interesting, you know? Everything you've done tonight's upside down and backwards. I'm sorry. All right. Here we go. And now we got that nice strip down the middle. Okay. Let's pop this in here. Oh, this is going to be pretty, pretty, pretty. Pretty, pretty. Okay. We're on a final card here. What time is it, honey? I'm feeling like we've been at it a while.
4:32.
4:32. We've been at it 2.5 hours. I promise I'll have you out of here within the next 20 minutes. That's including if we do Teddy Cam and our preview, because we have something brand new you haven't seen yet. Previews of coming attractions. It takes a while sometimes to make 6 cards. Especially these. I left these for Saturday because I knew I had used lots of scraps in them. I'm running a little bead of glue down my tape line. I've got my tape. I'm just adding a little bit of glue if I can get it to come out of the bottle. And I have kind of an accumulation there. I'm going to spread out. Boy, I gotta fix my glue bottles. I keep saying it, and I show up to class, I still have the same old ones. This one, I was working here yesterday, and this one behaved really nicely, and now it's just acting badly again. And again, it doesn't have a thing to do with my wonderful little glue bottles. It has to do with the fact that my glue has gotten very thick inside. And I simply have to clean them out and put some fresh glue in. We have nice fresh glue in the store. I just need to go and get it. Put it in there. Okay, gonna center this on my card. Boy, that's pretty. Oh my gosh, that's pretty. Okay, next, I'm gonna tap, tap, tap my little snowflake here with my, try and put it somewhere I don't already have glue on my paper towel. And find my Nuvo large glue pen. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Every time. Okay, got my snowflake. It's sticky. I'll put my snowflake at the very top. Positioning it first so I know where to put my Merry Christmas. Putting the Merry Christmas in next, right below my snowflake. So it's Happy Christmas, little one. And I put my Happy Christmas, little one right below that. Okay. I'm going to put it here, right at the bottom of my snowflake. Next to come on is my bow. It's going to overlap just a little, making sure my words can still be read. And I'm going to use my little teddy bear. Might have to lift some of my glued corners just a little bit to slide in my bear. I'll put my bear up on some foam squares. Alrighty. There we go. Slide that up in there. Add little stickles to his trees. Look how beautiful that is, guys. What we just now made. Isn't it pretty? Oh my gosh. So very pretty. Remember to turn around this piece of cardstock so the part with the purple really shows, because it really, that purple bow really sets it off if you do. Wowzer. Look what we made, guys. Let's look. Let's look what we've done with our last 2 hours. Let's just, that has to be one of the steps. Look what we have left for scraps out of all that paper. What we have left for scraps. We do have a couple usables left. I actually had an extra mirror board and a piece of Mary. And I have this pretty piece of pink I can still use because we gave you more than you needed. And I had this much left of my sparkly card. Those were all add-ins, though. This is what I had left from my Hunkydory. And that's something. We used every little scrap of that paper up. Get all this mess out of here so I can show you my new, this teddy over there. Is he in here? If he's in, we'll do a teddy cam. If he's not in, we'll pass that. Just go straight to. Aha! I hear Bryce talking to him. Teddy's in the room. He just been oversleep. Ooh, I almost threw my cards out. Stop! Stop, Deborah, stop! Hey, Teddy, gonna have some treats? Teddy said I'm awfully sleepy to be woken up for a teddy camp, guys. I'm awfully sleepy, but he behaves the best when he's sleepy. Doesn't try and do any nosedives off the table. Okay, we're ready. We're ready for Teddy. He's trying to climb over his daddy's shoulder. He said, "Oh, don't make me do teddy cam." Hey, look. Hey, sir. What if Mom? Yeah, there's no balls up there. Yesterday, we were working in, not yesterday, yeah, yesterday, we were working in here. Margie was cleaning up and she picked up a net bag that had one of Teddy's squeaky balls in it. Said, "Please, and then a new one." Oh, yeah. He said, "I'll just lay right down, Mama, because I'm too tired for this business." So, oh, you don't want it? I offended you by waking you up? I'm going to have it. Would you like one too? He said, "We're just too sleepy, please." You're just too sleepy for treats? Are we too sleepy for treats? Hey. No, he doesn't want any treats. Well, that's a first. Teddy, are you feeling all right today, buddy? He said, "It's hot, Mama. It's hot and you woke me up. Sit, please." And there's no balls on the table. So anyway, started to tell you, Margie was in here cleaning up and she picked up a net ball or a net bag that had a ball in it, a tennis ball, a squeaky tennis ball. And Teddy saw it and he watched where she put it. And then later he came over and he was stretching up the side of me, like that video. You know, he stretches up and says, "Mom, I just need you. I need you so badly. I need to be loved." And then I picked him up. He pushed immediately away from me, got up on the table, walked over, grabbed the tennis ball, and jumped off the table. He was just conning me to get up here and get the tennis ball, weren't you? Were you conning your mother? Were you conning me? Yes. He said, "I like those squeaky tennis balls, and I saw one and I didn't have it. So I had to get up and get it." Okay. Well, I realize that I'm boring you, so let's let you go on about your business. Thank you for coming to see us. All right. So I have our show and tell. I will tell you it involves black glitter paper, stickers, moons. Can you think about what it is? What it could be? What could it be? Black glitter paper and moons. That's right. Anybody guess? Here they are. It's Halloween time. Here's the first of our Halloween cards, the rat. There's the rat. Next, we have.
That's your creepy Halloween voice.
Next, we have the skeleton. I really wanted to write on here, "Would you like some candy?" That's my witchy. That's my witchy sound. Or is it a bat? Or a whole bunch of bats? Fairies, Betty says. Could have been fairies. It also could be the raven. This background paper, I don't know how well you see it on camera, but it has vines, and instead of berries, it has eyeballs. Eyeballs in the bushes. And we have, what's Halloween without a spider? Somebody said it. Here she is, the witch. This kit makes 10 cards. Ghosties. The toppers are the same toppers we used last year. The designs are different. The owls. The ghosty. Yes, there will be autumn cards coming. There absolutely will be some autumn cards coming soon. And the black cat. This kit sold out last year. Just fair warning, it's not up yet, but it did sell out last year. I'm going to list it today. Don't wait too long. Halloween card kits sell out. Inevitably, they will sell out. So don't wait too long. The toppers are super cute, and you'll have everything you need to make 10 cards. It's a very rich kit in that it has lots of glitter papers, stickers, a whole pack of A2 cards from that we're actually making them in A2 this time. You get a full-size tonic funky glue stick, because I found that's what worked the best on top of the glitter paper to adhere my labels, so, or my layers. So you're getting a big glue stick in there. You're getting the Halloween stickers. You're getting all the moons and the various styles and colors. You can see that's my signature this time, right? Everything has a moon, or at least an orb on it. Everything has a moon. But I think they turned out really cute. Boo! Halloween. So we're getting started with that early, because last year some people said I cut it a little too close. So here we go, trying to comply and get things out to you faster. So here's Halloween now available. It will be available later this afternoon. Again, this is a great one, by the way. If you're crafting with kids, this is a really good one, because these 3D toppers layer up very, very easily. Each topper, they're beautifully crafted. They have foiling. A lot of them have glitter. They're very dimensional. Oh, Teddy was getting a love and kind of got windpiped. They're very dimensional, but they're very easy layering. So this is a really good craft with kids. So these will be up later today. For Thursday, candidly, I don't know yet. It most likely will be a Christmas set. I will try to get it done in the next day or so and get it up for you. I am going to send a newsletter tonight. I will link this card kit in the newsletter. The newsletter will include links to all 4 of these videos that we've done, since I did not send individual videos. And I will also try to link you to the new PSX stamps. And Teddy's fine now. It just was kind of just one of those things. But I will also link you to the new PSX stickers that we just found, and we'll get those listed for you. I intended to, and I didn't, but I will get them in the newsletter today. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or pearls of wisdom before we get away? We have a good What's New Wednesday coming up on Wednesday. We have new Hunkydory that's listed that we'll take a look at. Lots of fun things in store, always fun things. Any questions at all? Thumbs up. Thank you, Mary R. If you haven't already given us a thumbs up, please mash that thumbs up button. I don't know why we had a couple of people who are following us regularly and giving us thumbs down. I suspect one of them might be a person that I had a little run-in with in a store when I told her she couldn't return 50% of everything she bought because we're not Amazon and we couldn't afford it as a little store. I want you to be delighted with your purchases, but I don't. You know, it's just really hard in a small business if 50% of everything comes back. Party update. Party update. Party is on Sunday, the 26th of September. Mark your calendars. We are going to run from 1 o'clock Pacific time to approximately 4:30 Pacific time. Pacific time. Specific time too. Probably not specific knowing me. We will be done most certainly by 5 o'clock Pacific time. And we are going to have such a great time. Yes, the party will include purple light specials. We will, in fact, have games. We will have giveaways. We will have the prize wheel. We will have craft hacks. We will have candy shots for specific words. We are going to have lots and lots and lots of fun. Make sure your calendar is marked for the 26th of September. You know, that was actually, we were originally going to do this when we hit 30,000 views on YouTube. But as it turns out, we're actually having the party just in time for that to be an anniversary party too, because Simply Special Crafts turns 19 years old on October 15th.
Wow.
Yeah, October 15th. That's the day I went and got the business license for Simply Special Crafts.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
So Bryce says I got to quit chatting and say goodnight, Gracie. So let me just say good night, Gracie. We'll see you guys on Wednesday, and I'll get a newsletter out to you later tonight.